It's not a hoax. It is a pandemic that has gotten worse before it will get better because of his inaction. And in fact, clearly, it is the Trump virus.
Well, what do you mean when you say the Trump virus?
The Trump virus. If he had said months ago, let's wear masks, let's socially distance instead of having rallies and political whatever they were, then more people would have followed his lead.
Wow. Well, town hall writer Katie Pavlich tweeted, I see Pelosi is allowed to call it the Trump virus, but President Trump isn't allowed to call it factually the China virus. A lot of double standards going on here. We'll discuss. Let's bring in political and economic commentator Trish Regan. Trish, great to see you as always.
Good to see you, Lyndsay. Good to see you, Sean.
All right. Well, Wolf Blitzer actually pushed back on her a little bit more and said, are you saying that the president is responsible for the deaths of 140,000 Americans? And she said yes, and kept calling it the Trump virus. I mean, this truly is the epitome of a double standard here.
I do believe I might have said something about this back in March when this was sort of first on the scene. I mean, it's been so politicized in such an incredibly irresponsible way. And this is just more example, or this is just one more example, I suppose, perhaps one of the more egregious ones. Look, I mean, you can't blame anyone per se for this. I mean, other than maybe China, because it originated over there. But, you know, to blame this on Trump and to accuse him effectively of killing people because he didn't push hard enough for masks, I'm sorry. I mean, it's just so beyond the beyond right now. The tone has gotten so miserable and so accusatory and so irresponsible. It is exactly what I warned of. They are going to blame him for everything, including this.
You know, Trish, the thing that was fascinating to me in that exchange that we just played is Pelosi makes the charge, which you rightly so point out is, I mean, I don't even have words to describe how ridiculous that is, what she said. But then Wolf Blitzer says, well, what do you mean? And then just lets it go. And if this had been anything else, those CNN folks have been on Donald Trump for calling it the China virus, even though they've called it the China virus. And they go after everything he says, and yet they just let her skate. And that says a lot about what they think of, you know, of comments when they come in the other direction. Lyndsay, yeah. I think that to me is such a double standard. They go after Trump and every one of his supporters for everything they say, Kayleigh McEnany and everyone else. But then when it happens to Pelosi, they let it go.
Yeah.
Trish, I mean, it's just,
right.
Go ahead.
It's wild, right? I mean, no, but you're talking about the total double standard, right, in media. Forget journalism. Journalism effectively does not exist anymore. You have political factions, right? I mean, look, I believe in just calling it like you see it. And you know what? When you need to criticize Donald Trump because he says something that doesn't make any sense, one should do so. And by the way, when Nancy Pelosi says something that doesn't make any sense, one should criticize her, which we're doing right here, right now, as we should. I mean, the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the mainstream media, I mean, you can lump the New York Times in with this bunch too. There's such a total lack of responsibility, no appreciation effectively for their craft, right? For the willingness to kind of look at both sides and try and be objective and try and be fair. That doesn't matter anymore because they have an agenda. They want him out of office and they're going to give as much airtime and ink as they possibly can to anyone on the left, to anyone that will criticize him.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what we just talked about with Mark Halpern and John Solomon, this whole Lincoln Project, that the media eats up anything they can that's anti-Trump, and they don't question them. They don't care about their ties to anything nefarious. It's as long as it's against Trump, it's okay. You're absolutely right. So I appreciate your commenting on this.
Yeah, no, I feel strongly about it. I mean, look, you know, you got to call them like you see them, and
yep.
You try to leave some of your personal biases. Like, look, I get it. If you're working for the campaign, right, you have that bias and you should be talking your book, so to speak, as we say in economic circles. But otherwise, you know, if you're a journalist, just be fair. Try and be fair.
Crazy.
There's no effort to even try.
All right. Well, got to cut you off there, Trish, because we're out of time now. But always love having you.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.